Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today we're going to talk about easy creative rock lead guitar tricks. We're going to talk about today, I'll show you how to be really creative in rock guitar or similar genres the easy way. So we're taking here a simple groove here and use simple licks, and we're going to start being creative. And so on. That was a few examples. I was basically playing 3 figures here and made easy creative tricks to make them sound way more bigger how they are. And this is basically also a good method to give some motivic guidance into your rock lead guitar. And that's what is the main topic of today's tutorial. It's quite easy, but of course it's required that you know at least, let's say, 3 positions of the pentatonics. Let's first check out these ones. Here we're using an example in A minor. So in order to proceed in a really cool and creative way over the entire fretboard, you need to know at least 3 pentatonic positions. The root position, which will be this one here, which you probably already know. And it's really extremely important that you know where the root is inside the pentatonic. So here's the root, here's the root, and here's the root. Then you need to know position number 2. Here's again the root, here's the root. So we have position 1. And just speed up, you don't need to play them so fast. Position 2. And we also need to know at least position number 4, which is the one here. Root, root. And we slide up here in the root of the top position. And up here we have the same position as 1 again. Which is, of course, because it's in such high position, you also need to practice that one. Well, I need to, because the regular finger doesn't work for me anymore, because I have 2 big fingers, so I have a different fingering here, and it feels completely different, even it's the same shape. So, we have 3 main positions. Now, how do you work with those? First thing, you take a simple lick, this one here. Quite a simple little lick. Starts in the root, 1 and we analyze the lick here. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1. So it's a really, really simple lick, just playing 8 notes starting on the root, going to the bending here. The bending goes to the 5th, so then you can move the same lick in the next position. Here's the root, so you move it from here to here. You can also play it here. And you can also play it here. So you have one lick and you just move it through the positions. It's quite simple. One thing you can do while you do this, listen to the sound. Here, of course, here the sound is different, as 1 octave higher. Now here the sound is more thin than here. Why is that? And also different than here. So that's one way to start to gain creativity with the same lick, just to listen to the sound and pick the one which you like most. Or Sometimes you pick one and then you repeat it in a way because you want to bring a different vibe into it. Try to put in emotions, or what I always do, colors. Remember Farbmusik? This one sounds more emotional than this one. This one sounds more nasty, I must say. That's things you can start to work on. Try to put in emotional vibes which you think fits for you. Try to connect it with what you play. You also can make variations on the bendings or whatever. Just try to put it into a context of emotions and sound. Now, this is just the emotional part. Now you can also start moving around this one lick, okay? You play this one lick and you probably notice it starts on count 1. How does it sound when you start it on count 2 or count 3 or count 4? How does it sound when you start it on here on count 1, here on count 2, here on count 3? Let's do this now. Here count 1, count 2, here nasty, here more emotional. Now we're doing 3 tasks, additional tasks with just one simple lick, and you're going to see what kind of result you can achieve by just adding different dimensions in your playing. Okay? So, we're starting here, cool and relaxed. On 2, nasty. On 3, emotional. And fine on 4. Did you notice how much variation and variety we have just with one lick, moving it through the positions, giving it a different approach, emotional approach with the vibrators and all stuff like this. And this was just one lick, okay? Now, of course, this is not enough. So you just fill up somehow. You make a little phrase to move to the next position, or you jump in the next position. We're using the same lick. We're moving the starting point from 1 to 2, but we're also adding some stuff in between, and now we're moving forward. See how that sounds? See, there was already a little story behind, even it was just one lick. Now let's check out another lick. We're doing this phrase here. Really simple opening phrase here. We're making a hammer-on lick, 5-7, 5-7, and stops here on 5. And it's a little 60-note figure. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can use the same shape here. You can also, it's the same technical thing you need to do, but you just move it next to. You can also do it here. Try to do it in different positions, you know. Just to give you more flexibility, it's just one lick which you can move through the positions. Now let's see how that works. Gives the impression something is developing, even when just playing one thing. Now you can also do the same displacement trick. So how does the displacement trick work here? You start, this one starts on 1. and then the second one doesn't start on a count, on a number. It starts on the end. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So this next time it started on 3 and not on 3. So 1, 2, 3. So you make a displacement of a half beat, and suddenly it sounds quite cool. And again, or so now I did the displacement thing in one position, or I moved through the positions, and this creates a really great forward movement towards the top position, which is quite cool to do. Now let's make a combination of the first part, this part, and you see it already sounds quite cool even if you're only playing 2 licks. Let's go. Now displacement. See, it already works quite well, even you're just playing 2 licks. Now we can add a last element, just to make it sound a little bit more wide. We always centered around the root note, which is cool for the orientations, but not for the ears. So you want to open up the tune a little bit by focusing on the 5th and not on the root. So, where is the 5th? Here. Here's the 5th. So, if you start the phrase on the root, listen just to the sound. I play the root, then the 5th, and you can hear the difference. 5th, 5th, root, 5th. You see, the sound of the 5th opens up the tune way more than the root note. Now here it comes. Remember, we're trying to put emotions into, we are trying to connect emotions to what we are playing. So if you want to get the vibe of an opening note, try to remember the vibe you want to create, and then put it, you know, if you just play these notes and without any emotions, it doesn't really get cool. Try to put your personal emotions into what you play. Listen to how the root sounds to you. The root is also cool. It has a kind of a closure effect. You know, you may hear it closes, but the 5th opens. Now you feel it has to develop somewhere. Here it closes again because this is the root. That's the way you start building up creativity with simple tools. Closing. Now we open. What did I do now? I used one of the prior licks to open up on the 5th, and you notice how much this opened up, and then this closure came. don't think in licks. I mean, licks are cool if you can do them, but if you want to make music, it's more about emotions and the vibe you want to put in. So with these simple exercises here, nothing can really happen. Now let's put everything together. See, just with these simple and easy creative rock lead guitar tricks, you can achieve quite a lot, more than you probably think, if you connect it with your emotions and understand the technical task, which you first, of course, need to fulfill, but then it's about creativity. So let's do this now. So let's go. Now we make displacement. You guys, that was the easy creative rock lead guitar tricks. I hope you got the main thing which I wanted to teach you guys. Music is not so much about technical stuff. Of course, the technical stuff has to work because that's the tool for what you do. But then comes the second thing. You need to connect what you're doing here to music and to your musical soul. And these are tricks which can really help you. Try to listen. My teacher used to say you need to live in the tone. What does living in the tone mean? Just sit there and listen how one note sounds to you. Give it a vibe or give it a color, whatever you want. And then when you get into an improvisation or give a phrase a vibe, there was a little story I was telling. Try to examine what kind of story you want to tell, what color you want to put in, however, what emotion, what image you want to put into your musical expression, and then start building these little elements of images, emotions, colors, and then at the end you don't really play licks anymore. I mean, if you play licks, it's cool if you can do, but it's way better if you just tell your audience an emotional story, your personal emotional story, and that's what it's all about here, what I was talking here. Anyhow, I will write down if the examples I just showed as going to be available as PDF and Guitar Pro in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy, plus this backing track. That one is really great. I'm using this since many years, but that one is really great to practice stuff like that because it's easygoing, sounds great, and it's not too hard to play on this specific tempo. That's why I really use this one often, even it's like 20 years old. Probably can hear it, but that's how it is. It really works great, and please become a member of the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Please also subscribe to this channel and share to the world that me and Dr. Pink are existing in order to support the work which we are doing for the guitar community. See you guys.